right, welcome in. How you guys doing? Hello, Capricorn. Let's see what's going on for you. Big month for you with Pluto leaving your sign. That has been there for 15 years, my friend. You guys are, I'm not worried about you guys at all. Really not. So, whatever transformations have taken place over the last 15 years, usually because of your energy, Capricorn's energy, those are long term, deep, abiding changes that are gonna stick. Okay. So, whenever you think about, is it time to make a change, or is it something I should be that will like hang with me for the rest of my life, look at the astrology. If you have something moving through your sign that is about change and transformation, then generally it will be long and abiding. If you make some kind of shift or change, possibly when Pluto is moving into Aquarius, the next sign, although I'll make a caveat to that, but that can be more fleeting change. It's not that it's not good change. It's just that it's not one of those like anchor kind of changes. It's a transformation of a thing. Okay. It's a little bit more cyclical or more processy than a change that happens when Pluto is in, like, let's say, your sign. Okay. Your ruler is Saturn, and Aquarius used to have Saturn. That's the traditional ruler. So it was kind of like change and transformation that would happen in your sign of Capricorn would continue on through Aquarius. And we can even kind of debate that as we get into Pluto moving into Aquarius. But for now, whatever you have, wherever you are, wherever you're standing right now in your life, things are likely going to, whatever's happening right now might take on some kind of new processy feel to it, rather than like, oh, it's a deep wholesale change in my life. You might not notice change as much happening. It's more incremental. Okay, just see. All right, we'll take a look at the reading. Shadow underneath. Okay. Transformation, just what I was just talking about. Meditation. Some of you stepped into a much more spiritual kind of life over the last 15 years. Definitely. There's the growth card. I like all of that. There is something here about shadow, though. And it's almost, I'm getting the feeling it's almost like you're kind of living with it. You're living with some kind of shadow experience because for whatever reason, it might be very individual to you guys. Living with some kind of existing circumstance that, because of the Capricorn nature of you and because of how Saturn, your ruler, kind of like loves this idea of hard work, that like that feels okay to you, even though it's not really where you're going. So what you're going to, I guess what I'm saying to you, if you don't understand what I just said, I feel like a lot of you are going to recognize that you've just been hanging on to a harder way of doing things because that might be more satisfying to you, or it might feel like you're doing something. Okay. Like, let's say you want to get healthier and you still hang on to some kind of, I'll give you a good example. It's actually a Capricorn friend of mine who loves to eat cereal before he goes to bed and doing a really good job of working out. He's got to get a knee replacement. I know we're old, but still hangs on to that little habit he has. It's a self-soothing kind of thing, I believe. And then when he finally recognized that, oh my God, that's a carb bunch of stuff sitting in my stomach. Once he just got rid, I know he's a man, so he's like, he can drop weight, no problem. But once he just got rid of that little habit at night and maybe replaced it with something else, maybe did something else that made him feel more nurtured or cared for, something like that, he lost that last 25 pounds, like no problem. Okay, so there's something about that. It was like I was attached to this. I was attached to doing it a certain way. And maybe it was self-soothing, or maybe it's like, I do things the hard way because that's the right way to do them. And in Aquarius, that's not going to be necessary. So you may find that this Pluto in your sign of Capricorn has been somewhat satisfying, but now the transformation is going to happen in a very different way. Okay, as we're moving into Pluto, moving from your sign, it's right now at 29 degrees of Capricorn. By the time we get into the early part of November, we are going to have, Mars is opposite to it, but kind of wide opposites, like 26 degrees. But by the time we get to the 15th of November, direct opposition. Saturn moves forward. I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. Nope, direct opposition the early of the month. By the time we get to November 15th, Saturn, your ruler, goes direct. We have a full moon in Taurus, the opposite sign of Scorpio, which is here too with this transformation. There can be big changes in the middle of the month that are fast, much faster. Okay, you just spent 15 years incrementally, and now, woo, just like within 15 days instead of 15 years. 5 of Cups, King of Swords, there's Aquarius, 4 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles, and the Lover's card. Okay, just saying, not for nothing. I feel like some of you who have been, wearing the hair shirt and being in an unsatisfying love relationship because it was like the right thing to do. Woo! By the time we get into the middle of November, that could all be changed. Some of you could have some massive awakening. Okay, massive awakening. And this can be the Capricorn energy transforming into the Aquarian energy. Aquarius, we have Pluto moving into Aquarius November 19th. And that is going to be, wow, that's going to be a lot faster. Saturn is your ruling planet that's going direct. Okay, Saturn's still in Pisces. So I feel like this is a spiritual awakening coming for Capricorn that, I don't know, you've been sitting on for a long time, maybe doing some incremental stuff, or maybe just sitting with some old hurt, some old pain that you've never gotten rid of or you've never looked at directly. And now you're going to do it in order to fully change. This is, I don't know if a lot of you have seen the movie Pretty in Pink. And Pretty in Pink is Molly Ringwald, and she's the main character. But I'm talking about the dad. The dad whose wife left him. He never went back to sleep in that bed. He sleeps on the couch. He waits for her to come back, and Molly has a very emotional scene with him that says she's never coming back. He turned into an alcoholic. Maybe he was an alcoholic. That's why she left. Who knows? But I think they kind of insinuate that. But there's something here about like that slap across the face that Molly Ringwald gives her father, not literally, in a loving way, that says, hey, you've got to make some change here because what you're waiting for is not, Larry Bird is not walking through that door. If you live in Boston, you know what that reference is. Rick Pitino. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Daughter of Wands. I can't wait to see the comments. Who's Rick Pitino? Daughter of Wands, 2 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles. That's kind of like not making a choice. In this deck, I see the 2 of Wands is crossed, right? In other decks, they aren't. But there's something here also. This may be a different little storyline for you, that there's something about your work that has kept you from really being creative in your life. Something about your job that has kept you from expressing your creativity. And it's time to express your creativity in your job in some way that's very different from what you had been doing. 10 of Wands, the 5 of Wands. Wow, look at all this wands, all this creative energy. Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter. Jupiter is in Gemini right now. I believe it's in retrograde. Gemini is the energy of learning from experience instead of learning from like a degree or learning from a wise soul or something like that. Learning by doing. And boy, have you been doing. 10 of Wands. Good grief, Capricorn. This Five of Wands, lots of chaos, because it's like, no, I want to learn it by doing it. I am not. And so this has really crushed your creativity. It's also possibly because you're on a path that really isn't your path. Like, you've rejected a creative path because it's not responsible, right? Eight of Pentacles. It's not the responsible thing to do. I can't be in a creative path. And so you like wear the hair shirt. That's the second time I've said that. Meaning you're going to do something harder for you, Saturn-like, because you're proving that, I'm responsible or something like that. Jupiter in Gemini retrograde. It's sort of like that's the story you're telling yourself. Okay. Woo, Daughter of Swords, the Fool, a new path coming. I like this. Knight of Pentacles, and I saw this. I'm taking this, the World. Beautiful. Good. All right, so this is Virgo energy. Some of you are stepping into being a healer. And some of you, this Jupiter and Gemini thing, the story we tell ourselves, right? A retrograde is about an internal storytelling that we do that sometimes holds us in place. And I feel like you're held in place. All right. You know that there's a creative direction or a creative path or a partner or something like that you have let go of in order to like do the hard work of growing up or adulting or whatever it is. Now, there's something here about a message coming through this Five of Wands, throwing everything into chaos. Throws everything into chaos here. And then the Fool. This is about somebody else telling a story or saying something to you that sets you free. The Fool. It sets you free because so I'm just going to let you in on a little secret about readings, these kinds of readings. Sometimes when we're doing readings, it's sort of like, okay, whatever story comes through is really the story, and that whoever resonates with it is fine. And that is exactly how I do this. Sometimes you just need to hear somebody else say it. It almost like gives you permission. Because whenever you're like, you watch a reading and you're like, this might be, since you're still watching this, wow, that really resonates with me. Wow, that must mean Mary Jo must be like this amazing channel and all this kind of stuff. And I work on channeling and I do my mediumship work and I do all that stuff, and that's great. But somebody else is watching this reading going, I don't know, that's not really for me. And what I have learned about this is my function, my role, is to say the stuff out loud. What's coming through the readings is stuff that people know already, and I'm helping you remember that. I'm helping you go, oh, yeah. Because you know the truth. You already know. And sometimes to hear someone else say it out loud, that's what the guides are helping me do. Saying, okay, this is what needs to be said out loud right now to somebody. So they can go, holy shit, that's my life. Or that's something that I need, that's what I needed to hear that. Thank you. How many times in the comments you see that? I needed to hear that. It's not that I'm telling you something you don't know. I'm telling you something you do know. And a lot of times in these readings, and I want to give you an assignment here, Capricorn, since you're so good at it. If this is the reading, then that's great. Sometime this week, before we get to November, I want you to zoom around YouTube and look at your favorites, whoever else you like to watch. And I want you to just look at the titles. Maybe not even look that it's a Capricorn reading. Just look at the titles. And when something goes, oh, that's the reading I want you to watch. Especially if you're scared of it. Especially if you're scared of it. Because you can do a lot of cotton candy coated kind of tarot watching that basically just gives you what you want to hear, and that's okay. But you are a Capricorn, my friend, and your job as Saturnian ruler that you are, that's the hard work we're talking about. Oh, yeah. I heard that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know that's for me. So watch a reading that scares you. Doesn't even have to be a Capricorn reading, but there's something here about a new chapter. The Fool, the Wheel of Fortune, and the World. It's time to listen to that voice. All right. Now, I'm going to go deeper into this reading. If you want to come with me, there's a link below. Lovers, I see Gemini energy here. I see Sag energy here. Pisces also. And the fixed signs, which are Scorpio and Taurus, Leo and Aquarius coming up. We've got air sign here. This is just something like, hey, if you have been stuck in a situation, the transformation is going to come through story. Someone saying something, you could hear it wherever you're hearing it. Here, in your walking around life, whatever. But heads up, that story is for you. All right. So link is below, Capricorn, if you want to continue on with me. I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.